Hi there. So today we're going to be talking about a drama that is technically supposed to be against child marriage, but the general consensus is that it seems to be romanticizing it. Now, I just wanted to really put it out there that this is a very, very toxic drama and it is getting some of the highest ratings. And I have this habit of going through the comments and I see people wishing for the love story of Annie and Fakhr, and you're like, this is not the point. That is not the point of the drama. But okay. So let's unpack Mayi Ri. Now Mayi Ri is a drama about family dynamics, and somewhere in the background there's a child marriage, but it's not about child marriage. We were led to believe from the trailers and everything that it is about child marriage and how the children will suffer because of this marriage. But at this point, looking at the point the whole drama is at right now, you realize that they're not suffering because of the marriage, they're suffering because of the people around them. It's so literally dumb sometimes how everybody in this house is behaving. Let's first of all look at Fakhr's father, and this man Zahir is he randomly decides, he has a heart attack and he decides, I want to get my son married. Your son is a child, he's a literal child. Yes, he's irresponsible, but that does not mean that the age old get a guy married and he'll become responsible and it will solve all his issues and problems. That is no. Girls are not rehabilitation centers for misbehaving boys or problematic boys. They are not. Marriage does not solve problems. It actually compounds them, because now you're not the only one suffering from your child's issues. Their wife and their future children will suffer through them as well. You need a certain level of maturity to be able to get married and be in a healthy relationship. Then we come to Zahir's younger brother Habib, who's just greedy, right? And then there's this whole thing with his second wife, who's a raging, I cannot even explain. I don't even want to use a word for her because she is so terrible. She is so torn. She's a witch, like an actual witch. And then there's this extremely victimized woman who is the girl's mother, and all she does is cry. And I'm just looking at these characters and I'm like, what is going on? And then fine, you get these two kids married, and then the grandmother, she's both of these kids' grandmother, right? And she starts treating the girl she starts treating the girl like garbage. And you think that if this is how she's treating her own grandchild, what would she have done if Fakhr had married somebody who was not in the family, right? And it's like, you just look at this drama and you're like, what is going on in this? And this is supposed to be against child marriage, right? This is supposed to give this message that child marriage is inherently bad. Children need to be educated first, they need to be at a certain level of maturity before you get them married. But what they're showing all these little love stories at school level, and they're showing all these are problems which are not related to child marriage. You don't have a marriage problem, you have a toxic family problem, right? Having a greedy uncle is not because of your marriage. Having, the fighting over the business after the father dies, the general toxicity, it has nothing to do with child marriage. And I really would like to ask the creators what they were thinking. There's just this love triangle in the story with Fakhr likes Amna likes Fakhr back, but she did not marry him, so now she's heartbroken herself. And then Annie liked Hamza once, but Hamza likes Annie, but now Annie's married to Fakhr. And Ayman likes Hamza and she thinks Hamza likes her too because she reads his poetry in secret. And it's like, you're just like, what is going on? What is going on? Hello, This is against child marriage, right? And every episode you're going to ask yourself the same question 5 times. Is this against child marriage or for child marriage? Because at this point, the most logical couple in this whole drama are Fakhar and Annie. The two people who are in the healthiest husband-wife relationship are Fakhar and Annie. These two understand each other better, these two talk to each other, these two are the least toxic, they support each other, they do everything the rest of the couples don't. They're all, they're both working towards a goal together. And is that not what marriage is? And I'm really confused that if this is a drama that is against child marriage, what would they... I don't understand this. I don't understand what they're doing with this drama, where they're going with this drama. And I've seen from the trailers that they're gonna have a kid. And first of all, teenage pregnancy is so dangerous. Like, medically, it's not good, but overall, it's icky. Feels icky to watch. Like, you watch it and you're like, hey, these are children. Let them be children. And now you're just propagating this marriage idea. Now I look at the comments and people are like, I'm just waiting for Fakhar and Annie's love story. And you're like, no, why? Why, my friend? Why are you waiting for Fakhar and Annie's love story? This is not about their love story. It's about the trials and tribulations of child marriage. Or maybe it's not about the trials and tribulations of child marriage. I'm really confused now. Maybe they're trying to show that, they had to support each other, it's like double the work, but it's not. Their problems are not rooting from their marriage. Again, like I said, it's the families. And it's the fact that these people don't support each other. Fakhar's mom just becomes so angry at Annie and Annie's mother, knowing that Annie's father actually does not listen to Annie's mother. He listens to his second wife the most, right? And it's also the desperate uncle story, where Annie's mom's brother marries the sister of his brother-in-law's second wife. Like, why? I mean, people at ARY, are you guys okay? What is this drama you've made? Like, what have you done? Why? Why does this exist? Like, why is this a story even? Like, what are you guys doing? I'm just very confused. But also, let's talk about the comments. And I wanted to mention the comments because the comments really pissed me off. I think I get that everybody's waiting for Fakhar and Annie's love story because they're treating it just like any other drama, and they're like, this is such a cute couple, oh my god. But they're not. They're children. They're like too young to be married. And the fact that they're shown to grow, responsible and all that stuff, yeah, they have grown responsible. That does not mean... See, this is just going to give people prerogative that, we saw a drama once where the young couple grew together, and so this means we should all just get married at 16 years old. No. You realize that Fakhir's dad had a whole business. He was well settled anyways, right? And he had a whole business. He's still supporting his wife to study. He wants her to study. He's studying himself as well, which is, again, credit where credit's due. I will say that the fact that Fakhar is shown to be supportive of Annie's education, and so is his mom, the way he's standing up for her against her father, yes, it's positives, but at the end of the day, you're showing that the only way a man is not toxic is if you marry him at 17 years old. I don't understand this. So, and then one of the comments I saw was that, there's a lot of conversation about this drama, and I just wanted to say that I know people are going to go, but Islam allows marriage at this age, right? Young marriage is allowed in Islam. Yes, it is, but it's there's a certain level of maturity. Like mentally, you have to be at a certain place before you get married, right? It does not mean that you marry off a 13-year-old who's like at that height of immaturity, but you're like, well, Islam allows young marriage, so we'll just marry them off, right? And I think I do understand that this whole child marriage scenario does not seem as weird as it would have had Annie been married to like a 50-year-old, right? So that age difference does not exist between the husband and the wife, which is why we are so, we're like, this is, we're just taking it so lightly. But at the end of the day, it's still a drama about child marriage, and seeing all these comments saying, Kiji, Islam allows early marriage. Yes, it does, but there's maturity levels. Then also these comments saying, well, that after a nikah, love develops naturally. Like it's yes, it does, but this was a forced marriage. Yes, they're not going to suddenly wake up 4 days later and be like, oh my God, I love you. They're not. They will not. It does not make sense. This is not reality. Like, this is not how it works, right? And I think we as a nation tend to use Islam for our own little benefits, and to sort of say, we use Islam as an argument point, right? We like to say that this is allowed and this is allowed, and then cut out things on our own and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you realize that marriage at 12 years old, when people used to die by the time they were like 40, 50 years old, do you understand there's a lifespan? Now people live to 60, 70, 80, 90 even. And with this, the level of education, the environment, everything has changed. This is the 21st century, right? And as the world has evolved around us, we need to be educating our children. We need to make sure that they are at a better place before we marry them off. It's no longer just, have a kid, wait for puberty and just marry them off. That's not how the world works anymore, right? You need to give your child feet to stand on, whether it's a boy or a girl. We need to be educating both of these genders. We need to be educating our children to be open-minded. We need to be educating our children to be on their own feet, so that just in case they have to go out into the big bad world and earn something for themselves or take care of their family, they can do it. You don't know what cards life will deal you. You don't know if you marry your daughter off and 4 days later her husband dies or something along those lines, right? At some point she has to take care of her family, or her husband loses his job, right? And they have to work together. You have to put your child in a place where they can support themselves and their children if they need to, right? Even though Mayi Ri is like against child marriage and seems to be romanticizing child marriage, somehow they have shown the healthiest character traits in Fakhr, who is a literal child who has gotten married. So maybe the conclusion is that we should all just marry off 15 and 17-year-olds because this is the only time they are going to do better, like understand each other and make an effort for each other. Because I don't see adults doing this. I don't see adults behaving the way Fakhr is behaving, and so you wonder, right? I don't know. What do you think about Mayi Ri? Do you think Mayi Ri is romanticizing and glamorizing the very harsh trials and tribulations people who are actually in child marriage face? And do you think there's another drama you want me to review? And I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.